He made it. What an incredible way to seal the set. Stunning tennis from a player who was never supposed to make it this far. Alex de Mana grew up caught between two worlds, Uruguay, Spain, and Australia, all pulling at him at once. He was small, never blessed with raw power or a booming serve, and time after time, the top European training academies passed on him. For years, the dream of turning pro looked like it would vanish before it ever took shape. But nearly a decade later, the entire tennis world had no choice but to pay attention. De Mana climbed inside the elite top 10 rankings. He registered a jaw-dropping win against Novak Djokovic. He became the first Australian since Lleyton Hewitt to reach the quarterfinals at all 4 Grand Slam tournaments. He landed a global brand deal with Tag Heuer and stepped into a romance the tennis world simply could not stop talking about. So how did a player once considered too slight, too small, and too overlooked build a world-class career and a fortune others now admire? Here is the full, fascinating rise of Australia's brightest tennis star. Alex de Mana was born on February 17, 1999, in the sun-drenched city of Sydney, Australia. From day one, he carried a heritage of 2 continents, a Uruguayan father and a Spanish mother. The family lived modestly, far removed from any glamorous sports circles. His father ran a small restaurant, working long hours to provide for the family. His mother, Esther, had spent time working at a Sydney tennis school, the very place where Alex first glimpsed the sport. On quiet afternoons, she would bring him along, leaving him to roll plastic balls while she tidied the courts. But rather than pick up a racket and play, the young boy sat still and studied. He watched every movement, every footstep, every swing, as if he were seeing something far deeper than just a game. At age 5, the family made a bold move. They relocated to Alicante, Spain, Esther's hometown, hoping to raise their children closer to family and explore better opportunities in Europe, where tennis was woven into everyday life. The transition was a culture shock for a boy raised in English-speaking Sydney. But instead of pulling back, Alex leaned in hard. Within months, he was speaking Spanish like a native. He enrolled at a training center led by former tennis great Sergi Bruguera, and something remarkable became immediately clear. While other kids fell apart after tough losses, Alex responded differently. He stayed calm. He asked what went wrong. He wanted to know exactly where he had been outplayed and how to fix it. His mother once said he never got upset after defeat. He just listened, reflected, and remembered every single one. Still, the early years were not without serious pain. By age 14, the grind of Spanish training had worn him down mentally and emotionally. He felt overwhelmed and quietly considered walking away from the sport entirely. He asked his parents if he could return to Sydney, not to quit, but simply to breathe again. They agreed. Back home, he reconnected with everything he loved. Long walks along Coogee Beach, slow breakfast at the family cafe, no rackets, no pressure. And in that stillness, something hit him hard. Without tennis, he felt incomplete. When he returned to Spain, his mindset had completely shifted. He made a firm, defining decision. He would chase tennis on his own terms, and he would do it wearing Australia's green and gold. He was 16 years old when he declared it out loud, "I'm Australian. I wear green and gold. I want my country to be proud." And from that moment forward, his real professional journey began. Alex turned pro in 2015 with no big spotlight and no impressive junior rankings. But coaches who watched him chase down every single ball made the same quiet observation. He moves like a young Lleyton Hewitt. And Hewitt himself took notice. The former world number 1 stepped in as a guiding figure early on, helping Alex earn a foothold on a tour already packed with giants. Everything began to accelerate in 2018. De Mana turned heads with runner-up finishes at the Sydney International and the Washington Open. His game, built on razor-sharp angles and relentless sprinting, earned him a nickname from ADP insiders, the Demon. It was never about a scary exterior. It captured the ferocious drive burning inside him. He did not overpower opponents. He simply outlasted them until they had nothing left. In 2019, he claimed his first ADP title at the Atlanta Open without dropping a single set. Small trophy, massive statement. He was no longer a fleeting name. Then came the 2020 U.S. Open, where he made history by reaching the quarterfinals, the first Australian to do so since Hewitt. He lost to eventual champion Dominic Thiem, but his performance was composed, fearless, and unforgettable. The years 2021 and 2022 brought setbacks, injuries, a COVID-19 infection before the Tokyo Olympics, multiple forced withdrawals. Through all of it, there were no excuses and no drama. He returned to the court every single time and doubled down on discipline. By 2023 and 2024, the rhythm was back. He claimed two ATP 500 titles in Acapulco, reached quarterfinals at Roland Garros, the U.S. Open and Wimbledon, and qualified for the ATP finals for the first time in his career. He stunned Novak Djokovic at the United Cup, a symbolic moment where relentless grit defeated raw greatness. Then in 2025, Australian fans witnessed a moment they had been waiting 2 decades for, a homegrown quarterfinalist at the Australian Open, the first since the Hewitt era. Off the court, the man has built a net worth exceeding $3 million through tournament earnings and major sponsorships, including Tag Heuer, Six, Wilson, and Swix. He owns a sleek oceanfront apartment in Sydney's Coogee Beach neighborhood valued at over $2 million Australian dollars, and a Mediterranean retreat back in Alicante, where his tennis story first began. His car collection leans nostalgic, a lovingly restored 1973 Mini 850 Deluxe finished in plum red, a powder blue Mini Cooper, a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, an Audi R8, and a Lamborghini Aventador. His watch collection centers on Tag Heuer's iconic Monaco and Carrera chronograph models, pieces that blend heritage with precision engineering. His relationship with British tennis pro Katie Boulter began as a quiet friendship after the two crossed paths during a European exhibition event. No dramatic spark, no stage moment, just two tired players sharing a laugh and eventually sharing their lives. They went public with a simple Instagram caption, "My person." In 2023, they played mixed doubles together at Wimbledon, and while they lost in the second round, fans said they had never seen two athletes look more at peace on a Grand Slam court. On December 23rd, 2024, Alex got down on one knee in Alicante, the city where his dreams were born, and Katie said yes. The announcement was 3 words and 1 photo. We said yes. No red carpets, no elaborate productions, just love, steady and real, beyond his personal life. Domana has quietly become one of tennis's most meaningful off-court figures. In Spain, he funds tennis programs for children from immigrant families, covering court costs, gear, and coaching fees without ever seeking recognition for it. In Australia, he partners with youth health organizations, visiting schools and speaking honestly to students about pressure, discipline, and bouncing back from failure. When wildfires and floods have devastated communities across Australia, he has donated to disaster relief efforts without posing for photos or releasing statements. He helps because it is simply the right thing to do. At 26, Alex Domana is not the most powerful player on the tour. He is not the tallest. He is not the most hyped. But he is consistently the player who leaves top seeds exhausted, rethinking their strategy and walking off the court shaking their heads. He wins not with flash, but with relentless, disciplined fight. 9 ATP singles titles, quarterfinals at all 4 Grand Slams, a top 10 ranking, a Davis Cup backbone, a fiancé who beat him in a team competition and made him smile anyway, a legacy being built not just on what he wins, but on how he lives. The quiet warrior keeps moving forward. And for Alex Domana, the best chapters are absolutely still to come.